This is my first live. I don't go live. I'm not a live person. Well, I'm a live person, but I'm not a person who goes live. No one has been to the library pantry today. Oh, except for the school kids. No adults, just the school kids on their way to school to get their little beverages and travel snacks. Say hello, y'all. I can't hear y'all. Hey, Inferno. Hi, Dolores. Good morning, BDK Chronicles. Cynthia East. Hi. That very enthusiastic hi. So, what would y'all like to talk about this morning? I'm not going to stay on live for long. I just want to kind of get a feel of it, see how I like it. This is not something that I actually enjoy doing. I did it a couple times over on TikTok. I hated it. I'm not even going to lie. And then on TikTok, they, like some of your mutuals, they always want you to join in lives with them. And I never wanted to commit to that. Hello, Adrian. I never really wanted to commit to that because, there's no telling what'll come out of my mouth. And then not only that, but, when it comes to other creators, you don't always, agree with everything that they say. Some people, I can get along with pretty much anyone, but, sometimes things will come into the conversation that I'm not. Hello, Tanya. Sometimes things will come into the conversation that I'm not comfortable with. They'll slip in a little homophobia, a little transphobia, a little misogyny, and then the next thing you know, I'm off on a tangent and I'm walking away from the whole live not feeling really good about having been ambushed that way because pretty much anyone knows what my position is on any given topic because I'm quite open about those things, so I don't really want to have a debate with other creators on a live forum. That's not what I'm about, especially other creators that look like me. Is anyone talking about martial law and how many times it's been used by the office of the president? I haven't heard anyone talking about it. I mean, are you concerned about it? Are you what makes you bring it up? Thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia says I'm doing fine. Do you think that the whole thing with Trump and Zelensky, that do you think it's like a distraction from something else? Um, I think that maybe they might want martial law, but as long as black people continue to mind our own black business and we don't put our bodies out there on the line for other people and their causes, I think that we'll be just fine. Plant a garden, stay out the street, you know? Um, None of this is, a lot of it rather is just not our business. It's time for us to let other people fight for themselves. People need to do their own fighting. People's are upset. Things will pop off soon. Upset about what exactly? I need more context, boo. Someone else says yes, they believe it too. I do. Wag the dog. uh, I don't know. Um, if there's any messaging that I want to send you all, because whenever I talk about things like this, people always say I'm fear mongering, and we're supposed to have a healthy amount of concern about the things that are going on around us. Don't get me wrong, but you'll know when we need to step in. We'll know when we need to step in, but I just don't think that right now is it's a time for us to step in. Yes, people are getting upset, but this is did they not bring this upon themselves? You know, they voted for all the wrong people. They put their, they hitched their wagons to the wrong ponies. Their vote and the people that they are supporting are the reason why they can't afford groceries and gas, and they're not being paid a livable wage, and because racism was just more important. And now I think that a lot of white people in America are starting to understand that racism is expensive for them too. It's costing them too. Have you seen all the town hall meetings and what's been going on at those Republican town hall meetings? Mm-hmm. Is there any, Tanya says, is there really nothing anyone can do to kick these mofos out of office? The thing of it is what's gonna have to happen is that white people, that's why it's so important that black people rest. It is. And we stop fighting these fights for them. Because until they get uncomfortable enough, as uncomfortable as we are, until they get uncomfortable enough to actually re-examine who it is they have been defending and throwing their support behind, it's gonna be this. BDK Chronicles says, I agree, we should keep minding our black business. That's right. Why do you think that none of the Chinese that have been here illegally have been deported? Because they're white adjacent. Most Chinese, most Asian people. And you know what? And that's so true, because there are a lot of illegal Chinese people here. They're getting in, I believe, through way of Cuba, if I'm not mistaken. And that's because white people want to count them in their numbers. Their numbers are declining. White people in the next 20 years, they say that they will be the minority, and prices, politicians, stress, depression. Yeah. But the only thing, there are some things that we can do, Inferno, to help with that. And that's another reason why I keep saying black people need to get in back into community with other black people. We need to invest in each other and support each other and buy each other's goods. And something else that we need to do? We need to get back into get back to bartering. If you got chickens, give somebody eggs for some turnips. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to that. If you are good at flipping furniture, like I'm really good at that. I don't do it too much anymore, but making an old piece of furniture look new, I'm amazing at that. I'm willing to do that for, say, plumbing services or HVAC services. You know what I'm saying? Black people, this is what I mean when I say we have to get back into community with one another. We have to rediscover each other, and we have to bring our skill sets to the forefront so that we can take advantage of each other's skill sets, so that we can trade off. A lot of the things that we spend money on, we don't need to be spending money on. And also community, that's another way to combat depression, believe it or not. When you're in your community with your people, honey, and you're having cookouts and barbecues and you trading this dress for those shoes, who's depressed? Who's depressed? Thank you, Tanya. Everyone has a tipping point. That's true. That's true. Cynthia said, this is what I'm saying. Yes, people are mad. Tanya is saying, this should be a teaching moment. The next time you don't agree with your party, you should vote independent or not at all. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that. We should be voting for the people who are going to get in there and do the work. One of the reasons why black people can rest right now is because we have people like Jasmine Crockett in there fighting the good fight. It's because we got the Jeremys in there fighting the good fight. That's one of the reasons why we need more of them. We got the AOCs in there fighting the good fight. We need more of them. We need to be electing people that want that fight, that want that smoke. Jasmine Crockett, she want that smoke all day, every day. She is here for the smoke. We need more of her in there. We need more of her in there. So no, when if I saw that, well, I'm an independent, so I can agree with voting independent. But even as an independent, you have to vote for one political party or another, and yeah, that sucks. But right now, that's what we got. That's the system that we have right now. That's what's in place, and we have to play by those rules right now. But not voting, that is not an answer. And voting independent, I don't think that's a good. I mean, and voting independent party rather, and for independent candidates, progressive independence, like Sanders, I can kind of agree with that. But voting third party, that was what you were saying. I can't agree with that. That's voting third party. Just take, for example, this last election. That was a thrown away vote. Voting third party is one of the reasons why we do not have um Harris in there. Is why we got Trump back in there. We have to be strategic. There are never any black people there. Well, at those town hall Republican meetings, no. No. The black people who have voted for Donald Trump, they don't want them there either. They took their votes, used them, and now they're in the abusing phase of it. Those people are lost to us. Those are the ones that Harriet told us to leave behind, and so that's what we got to do. We got to leave them behind. I know you can vote independent. I'm an independent. I know you can vote independently. I'm an independent, so I'm aware of that. What I mean is, what we shouldn't be doing is voting third party. Third party is a thrown away vote. It's not strategic and it's not smart. Where's Jill Stein now? Bartering is the future, Philip says. I agree, Philip. We do. We have to get, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to, um, like with the library pantry, I want to get it to the point where we're bartering. But I know I can't do that on my property. I know that. And then I was thinking, well, maybe we can get people who own property, and we can even travel. It can, maybe they want to donate their lot for one weekend, and it can be traveling, like, like how some of the shelters are. I used to work in homeless advocacy, and some of the shelters, I don't know if you all know, but they're traveling. One, the group of homeless, houseless people, they will be at this um church on these days, and then they'll travel to another church on those days, and so that they are always housed. And I was thinking maybe we can do something like that. That way no one has to donate their property all the time and lose out money all the time. They can just donate one weekend, maybe per month, or even per year, and the location can change, and then we can just kind of pull up, and maybe you got your produce vendors over here, maybe you got your legal advocates over here, maybe you got your medical experts over here, maybe you got your herbalist over there, maybe you got your hair braiders and hair technicians over here, maybe you got your barbers over there. I think that it's something that black people really need to take a strong, good look at. I do. I think bartering is the future too, Philip. I really do. Yes, BDK, we need to start coming together. How many? Tanya says many of my family members didn't vote for Trump, and you're still angry. I get it. I get it. I don't know that it's so many reasons as to why so many black people do not vote. Um, Whenever I say that I believe a lot of it has to do with laziness, I always get jumped on and attacked by some black people, but I don't mean to say that black people are lazy. That's not what I mean. I believe that there are like a lot of black people in my community right now that just can't be bothered. And how is that not lazy? When it comes to this issue, voting, yeah, they are somewhat lazy. And then I think a lot of it has to do with education, because the education that the kids get, the white kids get in their schools, it ain't the same education that black kids get in our schools. Now education is being defunded all over now. Used to be like where you can get a top tier quality education, a white kid in a white school. They're being defunded too. But black schools have always been defunded. Yeah, they'll go over those chapters in government, but they don't bring it home that like they do in white neighborhoods. White people vote for everything, even their local dog catchers, down to dog catcher, because it is instilled in them all throughout their education. You know, the whole process, why it's so important. And then, you know, we get black people that say things like voting doesn't matter. And it's just, you know, that stance is just, it's such an uneducated stance to take, because if it didn't matter, why do we think that white people are constantly redrawing the maps, the district maps, gerrymandering? Why are they constantly suppressing your vote? Not teaching black children the importance of the three branches of government, what their vote is, how their people died and fought for that vote. That in and of itself is voter suppression, because they don't have the information. And then, you know, and then they're raised in households with parents who were also ill-informed, and voting doesn't matter. It does. They're going to put in whoever they want to put in anyway. Or, you know, if that were true, Obama never would have been the president of the United States. I agree, Tanya. I can't agree with not voting at all. Yes, I agree. BDK. The Democrats need to get rid of Chuck and Nancy. I mean, I don't mean to sound ageist, but they are dinosaurs. They have been in this for so long. They are what you call your what do you call them? They're like your foundational. They're like your corporate Dems. You know what I'm saying? They're all about the money too. These are Democrats who have became rich playing the political game, and we need younger people in there with fresher perspectives that want to move the party forward. We need progressives. We need more progressive thinkers, and we need more people who are going to actually fight these Republicans and their ideologies, and we need more. We need more of them. And getting rid of Chuck and Nancy is the starting point. I agree, Empress. Voting third party is a vote for the Republican. Yes, Tanya, we need new people. Yes, Empress, it's called splitting the vote. It is. When it comes to getting our agenda met, that's when we have to really be about one band, one sound. Hi, Katina. Katina always shows up for me. Girl, I love you. Where is Cornel West? Child, I can't even believe people voted for him. I really can't. That's like, I can't even take you serious if you voted for Cornel West. I can't even take you serious. Jill only pops out every 4 years. Yep. To take away votes from Democrats, and then poof, she's gone. Oh, if that ain't a word, BDK. That is so true. And then she's gone for another 4 years. How do I feel about us using our Second Amendment rights? Well, anyone who has been following me for a long time, Lady Laurenfield, knows that I am a licensed gun carrier. We have multiple firearms in our home. Democrats have guns too. We do. I grew up with he was rather twisted, but he was a gun enthusiast. But then so was my grandfather too. And so I don't know. When I think about my childhood, guns and gardening played a big role in my childhood. My first housewarming present was a firearm. That was the first housewarming present that I ever got. I haven't gotten a firearm in a long time, a newer one in a long time, only because, they're getting so expensive and there's really nothing wrong with my old ones, But yeah, I'm a licensed carrier. I carry every time I leave the house. Even when I refill the library pantry, there's a firearm on my person then. Because you just never know. One never knows. And it's one of the reasons why I stay calm and I remain calm because, you cannot take back a bullet. You can't take back a bullet. But yeah, absolutely. I believe in the Second Amendment right. I do. And for everyone, except for people who have proven or who have given an indication that they are not well enough for that right. Yes. Our ancestors, yes, BDK, they went through too much for the right to vote. And you know something too? I think that honestly, I'm gonna just be honest here, because I'm Generation X. I don't think that Generation X did enough, and older millennials, I don't think are doing enough to make sure that our kids understand the those who are coming behind us understand exactly what our ancestors had to survive in order to gain us the right to vote. Because these younger black people, they were born into their rights. They were born with those rights. And when you're born into something, you take it for granted. They have never had to fight an inch for those rights. And so they're very dismissive of them and they didn't even vote to protect them. And that's shameful on their part. But it is also shameful on our part to not keep hammering that into them, that information. So we got to do better there, the older black people in the community. And again, another reason why we need to be in community. We have to get back to bringing that village. And also too, when it comes to the village, I totally get it. Not all kinfolk, not all skinfolk is kinfolk. But you don't have to necessarily we used to be born into the village as well. You can choose your village. You can choose who you want in your circle. All your village is a circle. You get to decide who's there and who isn't. Lady Laurenfield says, thank you. I just got my concealed carry license. I have my concealed carry license. I've had it for decades. First, I had one in Michigan. Then I had one in the state of Ohio. And then I got one as soon as I got to South Carolina. I got that business done. But I'm not sure, but I don't even think you need one in South Carolina anymore, which is shameful. Not even the police wanted that. So I guess I can say at least they got that much sense. Not even the police wanted that. It's a bad idea to not make people have to study up on the laws, castle doctrine laws, stand your ground laws, depending on what they're called in your state, to not know, have information on when you should pull and when you shouldn't pull. There's so many instances where people think that it's okay for them to pull when it's actually not okay. And then castle doctrine, because these are the United States, supposedly. Is, gun laws vary. They differ from state to state. So it may mean one thing in another state. What may fly in another state may not fly in another state. You know what I'm saying? Like in the state of Michigan, I know you couldn't shoot anyone that was coming on your property if they weren't a threat. But meaning that they would have to kind of really be inside the property. The same holds true here in South Carolina. But say if they were breaking into your shed in the state of Michigan, that's different. But you have to make sure you say the words that I fear for my life. So you have to always, just a little hint, if ever you get to that point, you have to say, I feared for my life, I was in fear of my life. But you can't shoot through windows and doors and say, I fear for my life. That's not a threat. So people need that knowledge. I fear for my life. That's the one. And make it good. I remember my uncle, I'll say D, told me, he said, if you got a if you got a poppy one outside, make sure you drag him inside. Make sure you make sure you good there. I have my license but no firearm yet. Get one. Use your income tax. Use a payment plan, but get one. And I would always recommend that. Well, if you got your license, then yeah, you want to get a handgun. But if you don't have a license to carry a firearm, a shotgun in the home is always is always a good bet. Shotguns, buckshot, not birdshot, 12 gauge. Get you one. I don't understand why the whites want to play racism card and try to take us back in time, because now we can protect ourselves. You know what? Honestly, it just depends. It depends on what they say versus what you say. White people, one thing that where the laws are concerned, because the Second Amendment, it doesn't apply to us the same way, and that's just the truth. Now, when you go on and you talking about killing white people with firearms, you better be very careful about how you play that situation, because we know that there is a, a a a justice system, and then there's a just us system. And what flies for us, for them, don't necessarily fly for us. So you have to be very careful. That's one of the reasons why I don't engage, too much. But you want to make sure that you are actually in fear of your life. Remember the story about the young lady at the what was it? They were at a gas station and the white man was beating on her boyfriend, and then she came and she shot him and killed him. Sis, it was filmed. It was no way around that. She was defending her loved one. It was, they knew we would have threw a fit over that, because self-defense does apply to those, our family members and the people that we love and friends and whatnot, when we fear for their lives too. They also fall up under that umbrella. That's why it's so important for you to know the law where you are. So she got away with that. But excuse me, there was a case here in South Carolina where a young lady, a sister, was arrested, and she was arrested and charged with murder. I don't know how that all played out, but they were in a Kroger parking lot, and the white woman and her brother approached the sister, and she spit on the sister, and the sister shot her here and killed her. But that sister, I believe, last I heard, she was fighting, she was fighting that case. Now, spitting on someone, that is assault, but it just depends on who you are and what's going on, because a lot of people feel like, well, that wasn't a deadly threat. That wasn't, I don't know. So, hey, Tabitha. Excuse me. Yeah, definitely. Don't look for the smoke, but if it comes your way, it comes your way. That's the whole point of carrying a firearm, so that you can defend yourself. Because at the end of the day, at the very, very end of the day, better judge by 12 than carry by 6. It is what it is. Yep, Philip, spitting on somebody is definitely assault. You know, I don't know. It's so hard to say what we will do in any given situation. I like to think of myself as someone who is level headed. But I remember this one time this was a few years ago. I was in an Aldi grocery store minding my business. And you know how you take that divider thing, and you put them in between your groceries and someone else's groceries? And mind you, I am an introvert. One of the things that I'm going to always give people is their space. I'm not one of those people that's going to crowd up behind you. Cuz I don't like to be touched. No one can ever accuse me of something like that. I'm always going to give you your space. And I'm never going to put my groceries like right behind yours on the belt. I'm always going to leave a space, some room. So this white man did this just because he wanted to be an asshole. So when I put the divider down, you know how the thing goes up. So by the time the conveyor belt, it went up to him, he takes the divider and throws it, and it bounces up. And before I knew it, I took the thing and I just popped his ass one. I literally just popped his ass one. That thing bounced off that man's head. And now next, we're in the parking lot. So I guess he decided that he wasn't going to let me get away with that. Now, mind you, I carry a firearm. This is why you have to be so careful, because I never would have thought that I would have snapped like that quick. But I did. Mind you, he didn't hit me. He didn't touch me. But it was just the fact that I don't know what kind of mood I was in that day. Maybe it was just a day. But I always thought that I would be able to handle a situation better than what I did. And I didn't. I didn't breathe in and out for 5 seconds. I didn't give myself to 10 before I reacted. I didn't do any of that. And mind you, I have a Glock on my hip. So when I get to my truck, I open the hatch, the back. I'm putting in my groceries. He's walking towards me. And as he's walking towards me, I was like, he better keep going. So he goes a little bit past my car, and he kind of stands, and then he turns around because he want more smoke. And by this time, thank goodness, I'm putting in my last item in the car, not my bags, because it's Aldi. And I've got these like travel things in the back of my car that I always load them with. But I got the last of it, and I'm lowering the hatch on my car. But all I did was just lift up my sweatshirt and let him know. And he went on about his business. So in that incident, I don't know. When I tell you, the ancestors have saved me lots of times, they really, really have. It can be, you have to make sure that you are in control of yourself. But I did learn something that day, and maybe that was my lesson, to make sure you okay. Because take a minute. It's people can get you there. Yes, when I hit him, that was a physical assault. I didn't intentionally mean to hit him, but when he took it and when he threw it at me like that, it just so happened that he meant to hit me. It just so happened that it didn't hit me. You know what I'm saying? When he took the thing and threw it, he meant to hit me, but he didn't. He can't throw. But when I took it, my throw was sure, and I hit him. And yes, that was assault. But no, that man didn't even say anything to me. He didn't say not one word to me during that whole exchange. But yeah, that was a physical assault. If that's the case, you just implicated yourself. Well, ma'am, if he can ever find me, here it is. If he ever wants to make a big deal out of it, here I am. Yeah, your temper can, especially when you're always dealing with their racism. You know what I'm saying? You could just get to a point where it's always the subtleties when you're out. And this is the South. This is a red state. It's always the subtleties. They walk around in the race. It's just implied racism everywhere you fucking go. The cashiers, the other drivers. It can be a lot. on the black psyche. And then sometimes, when we react to that, you can catch us in a moment. And that really is what they hope to do. That's why it's always there. You know, it's a lot. Racists never learn not to try strangers, right? It's just I'm human. I can be caught up in a bad moment too. You know, but the fact that man, and when I tell you, mind you, I literally was minding my own business. I wasn't even close to this man, and this man thought to assault me in an Aldi store. I'm behind him. I ain't even in front of him. I'm behind him. So are my groceries. Nothing's touching him. We're not bothering him. We were not bothering this man, mind you. And like I said, the only reason why that divider didn't hit me was because he didn't know how to throw. He couldn't throw. It just so happens before I even thought about it, I picked it up from where it landed and bounced off everything. I picked it up, and before I knew it, I threw it back. But mine hit him. Yes, I live in Texas. It's almost like you can feel the racism sometimes. So you know exactly what I mean. Yeah, right. It's so thick, and it's just so pervasive. It's everywhere you go. And it's certain parts of Michigan that are the same. Up north, there are certain parts of Ohio. Driving out of Ohio, I saw rest stops driving through Ohio that had Confederate flags on top. Racism, this racism is just, who even is America without their racism? Without their greed and racism and capitalism, who are they even? Who is America? What is America without it? I don't think America even knows. That's foundational America for you. I get it, Dolores. Liz says, I'm in Ohio. It's very southern mentality here. Yeah. Ohio is the mean fucking West. You be shot unless you stump through those grounds pretty often. And being a Michigan native, I was in Ohio a lot. I have relatives in Cincinnati and other parts of Ohio. It's this is America. It's everywhere. Some parts are better than others, but it's everywhere. And as black people, at some point, we all eventually get our Negro wake up call, don't we? When you think that you're safe, excuse me, and that the world is changing or doing better, there's always something to remind us that no. You're from Flint? Yep. Remember the water crisis in Flint? That was so hard to watch. That was the hardest thing to watch. The way them white folks treated them black folks and them poor people. This is, say what you want to say about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, because black people for some reason just hate them. And they ain't no different than anybody else. They got their problems. The only difference between them and other black people is that they just put their shit out in the streets. That's the only damn difference. But they raised some thoughtful, intelligent children. They did. I don't know what that Jaden is going through. My heart goes out to him. But I suspect he's just a sensitive soul. And sensitive souls Man, we get kicked around so much till we learn how to stand on business. And I think that that's what's happening with him, you know. But the way that boy, excuse me, the way he showed up for Flint, Michigan, I'll never forget that. And say what you want to say about Will and Jada, but they raised a righteous child in that one. The way he heard that and the way he showed up, and with his own money, mind you, he didn't raise money. That was his money. I've been break checked by white men as a female twice for no reason. They crazy here. Girl, one tried to run me off the road one time. They're crazy. They're like insane. I told you that racism makes them, it gives them, it's like it's psychopathy. It is. It's they're you know, that racism. They are crazy. They are insane. It is truly a demonic spirit. It is. That racism. Yep. Diva Journey. Hey Diva. Says she agrees. With what? I said a lot. Are you talking about with the Smiths? I don't know why anybody hate. I don't know why people hate them. I don't know. I like them both. Jada got great sense, but you know, she flawed like the rest of us. She is. But that whole Asina, whatever his name is, that boy was too young for her to be messing with, and she should have known better, you know. And I don't agree with that. But at the same time, he was an adult, she was an adult, and it ain't none of my business. But where her kids are concerned, they raised some good kids. Yes, with the Smiths, yeah. They like anybody else. This is another reason why we have to stop putting celebrities on pedestals. I remember when I made the point about Cynthia Erivo, when people were saying, well, she should have won the NAACP Image Award. No, the fuck she shouldn't have. Why? Why? That is a specific award. That isn't an award like a Oscar or a Golden Globes. Now, she win an Oscar or Golden Globes, I ain't got nothing to say. But an NAACP award, yeah. And you know who came for me about that? It was black women. Well, all she said, look, just say that you are also anti-black. Or just say that you don't understand racial nuance and anti-blackness. Just say that you don't understand that. And I don't know, maybe get a broader understanding. You know, this is one of the reasons why we really do have to address our internalized racism. Because when blacks out here trying to be better than other black folks, honey, these white folks don't care where our black come from, whether it comes from Jamaica or Africa or America. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. We all black. We are some Negroes to them. Her ER. They don't care where our black come from. Black people dividing themselves based on that bullshit. And I don't know what's going on with these black Brits, but they need to stop it. They need to stop it. Look, this is just the truth, and I'm just going to tell it. At the end of the day, African Americans are the most influential black people in the diaspora. Feel your feelings, it's the truth. Feel your feelings. And so but that is not a reason to attack African Americans. We, if anything, the fact that we got dragged over here like we did, and we was able to carve out a path and fight for our rights and create a culture that is so unique, like African American culture, deserves praise and not criticism. Show us the love that we deserve. Show us the respect that we deserve. Otherwise, you just like them white racist people. Anti-black as fuck. When I think of Africa, I think of home. I think of the motherland. I think of greatness. I think of intelligence. I think of so many things, man. But the thing that don't never cross my mind is a negative thought about black people and the people that live there. That ain't never crossed my mind when I thought about Africa. So to hear them talk about us the way that they do, that is horrifying to me. Like, we always trying to figure out what the fuck we ever did to white people to make white people feel this way about us. And now we got to figure this out with our own fucking people. What the fuck have we ever did to Africans? What the fuck did we ever do to Cynthia Erivo? White adjacency. That is what, you know, when they come to America. Now with the tweet she put out, right? All you gotta do is just go look for it. And people are like, well, what did she say? Well, what is Google? Go look it up. It's there. She and what she didn't say is not only what she didn't say, but it was what she supported. Because she had a friend, a mutual, mind you, that said some real fucked up shit about black people here in America. And she liked all them comments. Read the room. Hey, Sharon. Right. We can appreciate Cynthia Diva Journey. We can appreciate her talent and her beauty and her, you know, we can appreciate being the way she entertains us. But she still said some fucked up shit. And yeah, we gonna acknowledge it over here. Right, the consequences need to be felt. It's you over here, and it ain't no way in the world she should have played Harriet Tubman, honey. Ain't no way she should have played no Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman would have punched her in her throat. Ain't no way she should have played no Harriet Tubman. Sharon Hughes, we're like the phoenix. We always rise. So smart, creative. We're awesome. We are. Shay say she been a problem in the past too. Tanya say I found it. Yep. You know, hold on a second, because ain't all skin folk kin folk. And you know, some people in these comments, they say things, you know what I'm saying? And they true natures, you know, they be kind of anti-black. And they true natures be coming off. You'll say something and then they're going to be the opposition to what you said. But they black. Well, somebody here just said to me, just so that you know, I'm black. And it's funny that they felt like they had to say that. They know why they had to say it. You got an anti-black spirit, Spooky. You got an anti-black spirit, baby. You do. You need to go work on that. You shouldn't be here in the room with the rest of us. You got a lot of things that you need to work out, a lot of issues you need to work out within yourself. And I'm here to tell you, you know, your mind need to be under new management, baby. Get that shit together, because you ain't ready to be over here with the rest of us yet. I can respect that you're trying, but you ain't ready. And I don't have the patience for it. Somebody said I got the message with the eye roll. Right, because like, what the fuck? You know, some people just don't realize that they're problematic. And like I said, I can respect that they trying, you know, they're trying, but you know, go somewhere and try harder, but go over there with that. Right, go deconstruct and then we can talk. Exactly. Y'all know that's my word, because you know so many of us black people need to deconstruct. Go deconstruct and then we can talk. You know, if that's the way you feel about black people, you feel like black people sold, you feel like your tribe sold you out. You know, if that's, I don't know, maybe change your thinking. I'm not saying that history isn't true and that history is irrelevant. And I'm not saying that them not coming to get us and fight for us is not felt. But that's just not what, when I think about Africa, I think about how they're over there fighting for their freedom too. And I think about, more importantly, what I think about is that until Africa free, ain't none of us gonna be free. And that's just the truth. freedom, real freedom for black people is going to start over in Africa. But Africa got to free Africa. Now, am I over here trying to free Africa? No. But I'm not going to be a cross to burn them on. I'm never going to be that. Yeah, Cynthia Erivo is a problem. She an issue. You know, a lot of black Brits are. I don't know what their issue is with us, but then again, you have to think about this. They internalize black people in America, and when we live in racist countries, we do internalize racism. And they internalize racism too. They just internalize it different from us. And what we have to understand is that racism, Europe, is the birthplace of racism. It is the birthplace of hatred for black people. So they have internalized that, not in the same way that we have. So they have another layer onto it. So when they come over here and they want to be a part of American culture, and they want to come over here and they want to benefit using all of the rights that they have gained that we have fought for. One of the things that they do is they try to align themselves with whiteness. And if you're going to come over here and align yourself with whiteness, then that means you have to hate blackness. And so they think that those accents are enough for white people to, to align themselves with white people because they hate black people too. But that's not going to work for them. They don't know that yet, but they're going to learn it. Yes, colonization on steroids, Diva Journey, exactly. That's what I was going to say. They live with the OG enslavers. So, of course, they have that mentality. Exactly. Their minds, I mean, yeah, of course they looking at us like, and then not only that, but like I said, we got all this culture over here. We done fought all these freedom fights over here. We're influential. We're influential enough as a block to determine outcomes of elections. We went from being dragged off those boats to that shit. Black Americans are the baddies. Say what you want to say, but we the baddies. Aw, thank you, Wendy Days. Yep, they will, Sheila. They will fuck around and they will find out. Yep. Because just like that is the birthplace, Europe is the birthplace of racism. American racism is different than European racism. North American racism is different. And they're going to find out. I mean, not these. It's like they forget. Black people, we're so quick to forget. Our memories are so short. I mean, wasn't that just last year? White folks had them running around in the streets, fighting, running for their lives. Wasn't that last year, the year before? Had them running the race wars that happened over there, the race riots. They had literal race riots. Them white folks had them running for their lives. Now, I'm going to tell you what I ain't going to do is run. No African American's going to run. Even if we get dropped, we're going to get dropped where we stand. We have a whole history of that. We ain't running. We ain't running. We ain't ran from white people since slavery. I wish I would run from Becky down the street, up the street from Becky. Come on now. Please miss me with the bullshit. Literally, and the white folks are the same here. Look at how they troll us. Look at how they chase after us. Look at how they're always bothering us. Same thing. But one thing about us is that we're not gonna be. We can go to work the next day. We can go to school the next day. We can go back to Aldi. I've been on here for almost an hour. When you're black, you're never alone. You ain't lying, BDK. You're never alone. Never. Never. Always in your face, always in your business, always look in your mouth. Wendy Day says, just came back from Ghana. When you see the slave castle dungeons, oh my goodness. And when you look out the door of no return, we are another level of strong. We had to be, especially knowing that our people wasn't coming for us. We had to turn into something else. We had to be something else. Chattel slavery. There are no words to describe that. That's why they want to get rid of all the books, ban all the books, because they don't want the truth of the way they behave like animals towards us. Some fucking animals. Yep. Sheila, strength is our middle name. We were born resistant. We were born strong. We don't know how to be anything but strong. Because being anything other than strong and black in America will get you ran the fuck over. It really will. Yep, there will never be, Sally, words strong enough to describe that horror. I think often about what our people went through during that time. Do you ever think about who you would have been in that moment? I am like so freaking rebellious. I don't think I would have lived long. I don't. I don't think I would have lived long at all. But I can tell you one thing, I know for sure. I wouldn't have been the kind of black person that would have sold my people out for an extra piece of cornbread. I know that. I know that's right. I never would have been that kind of a black person that would have sold my people out. Thank you for all the work you do in your community. You made a strong role model. Thank you for this platform. Good morning, Jackie Thomas. I am safe. Oh, there were so many people who were concerned about me. Thank you. Oh my God, they were concerned about me. Yes, South Carolina, in case you don't know, is experiencing horrific wildfires. They're horrible. They are. I didn't think that they were as bad as they were. I don't watch mainstream media too much anymore, so I have to wait until the smaller independent, and they're not always on 24/7. So when I saw it, that's in Horry County. I live in Richland County. Horry County is about 130 miles south of me, near where Myrtle Beach is. And where Myrtle Beach is, as a matter of fact, I believe. And, I've always worried about wildfires, to be honest, in South Carolina. Because, listen, South Carolina, the reason why it's prime for wildfires is because where I live, it is actually known as the Woodlands. And South Carolina gets so hot and the air is so dry. My asthma, woo, baby, in the heat, in the South Carolina heat, it makes gardening so hard for me some days. I just have to go inside the house where the air is. Um, but the trees, they can, and there's so many trees because when you go, there's like a central part to where I live in the woodlands where you can see literally how this city was carved out of just the woods. And you know, these woods and this land belong to Native Americans. And you can see where we came and we just, well, not we, not us, but where they just, the colonizers came and just built on top of everything, you know, and carved out, you know, just and so there are trees that haven't been removed, trees that are 100 years old and older, and the state isn't doing anything. There are no programs to remove these old trees. Remember during the hurricane, I had two that fell in my yard. That was the third. Those two, they're all together just since we've had this house in 5 years. In the 5 years that we've had it, three trees have come down in just my yard. These trees are old, they are dry, and the state is praying for those. But we're okay here in Richland, South Carolina, and we're praying for them over in Horry. We are. Morning, nice to see you live. Brandon, hey! Thank you for all the work you do in your community and on here. I tune into you just about every day and listen to your words. Aw, thank you, babes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm safe, Sheila. Please make sure I have all my asthma meds because the smoke pollution travels. Yes, I do actually. I saw my doctor not too long ago. I had an appointment last week and I had an appointment the week before. So I'm all good on my meds for some months, you know, all my asthma meds. She put me on a new inhaler, by the way. That inhaler is like, at first I wouldn't take the inhaler because with my insurance, it was $300 out of pocket. But I found, you know, this is why we have to, you know, not be afraid of research. I found a program and now it's only $50 a month. So now I can afford it. And it has been a lot better. It has. Yeah. So, yeah, I do have all my asthma meds on because I am that asthmatic girl that will have a spell and I'm down for the count. My baby diva journey will always remind you to take care of your health. That's your child, Sally. I didn't know that. I don't know why I'm excited, but oh, not the mother daughter team over here. So I'm going, aw. Not families watching me. Take care of your health. Girl, she's going from my daughter to my other mom. Love her beyond words and time. Aw. Aw. And look, your comments are back to back. Aw. Y'all are so sweet. I wish I had a good relationship with my mom, but I don't. Y'all know that story. I don't want to get into it. But you know, the thing that, you know, when mother daughters, when I've had friends who had really good relationships with their mothers, and the way some of them attacked me for breaking ties with my mother. I mean, I got like, you know, not everybody, what we have to start to understand is not everyone has what we have. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone has money. Not everyone has a home. Not everyone has a good job. Not everyone has groceries in their home. Not everyone has non-toxic parents. You know? First time catching me live. Really enjoy my channel. Thank you so much, Tisha. Actually, this is the first time I've ever been live over here. I'm going to stop real soon because I've been on for an hour and I said I would just give it an hour. So, and I'm 5 minutes over. So with that being said, thank you for tuning in to my first live. I appreciate you. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, you know, but it's time for me to get out in my garden because it's going to be 60 degrees. And with my asthma, the 60-degree days are the best days to garden. That's the days when you really want to get out there and get things done. So thank you all so much. and you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Now, how do I end this live? I think I hit this thing up here. Do something nice for someone. Take care of your community. Hyper focus on your community. Build your village. Protect the kids. Protect the women. And if the men want to lead, let them lead. Only make sure that they have qualifications of a leader. And make sure that you allow the men to lead you to be the kind of men who lead with compassion and not force. Let's raise some leaders.